Good morning, guys. It's Tuesday morning. Tomorrow is a huge match for AFC Bournemouth against Newcastle United. I'm feeling pretty nervous already, I've got to say. As you can see, I've got Mr. Jeff Hayward with me. Jeff, how are you doing?
Nervous.
Me too. Me too. Of course, Mr. Eddie Howe had his press conference this morning, so you'll be able to see just running across the bottom of the screen the latest news from that. However, in this video, as we've done the preview already for this match in the previous one, the card is at the top if you want to watch it. Myself and Jeff are going to do a prediction calculator, and that is where we're going to predict the results for the teams that are around. We're not going to do the predictions for the teams that aren't involved, and there are two ways this can be done, really. I mean, there were two scenarios. I did this privately, and I went the glass half empty approach, i.e. what I expect based on how we've been, and then I went the sort of glass half full based on how we can be. But I still wasn't overly optimistic, but what I was optimistic for the other teams, our kind of relegation rivals, which one scenario we still came up outside that dotted line, which was a good place to be. But Jeff, we're going to bring this in now for you to have a look at. So match week 32 is where we're at now. Let's go. I'm going to just hand this over to you for this one, and maybe we'll alternate on the match weeks if you like. And so I'll ask you, Brighton versus Man United. I mean, Man United looking strong.
Yeah, but they struggled to get past Norwich in the Cup, and Brighton have been playing above themselves. So I'm going to say a 0-0 draw, that one.
0-0. Okay, Bournemouth versus Newcastle. We're going to take your podcast prediction and go for
a 2-0.
A 2-0. I mean, Norwich, I don't think it matters. I think they're probably down, but we're going to go for an Arsenal win, right?
Yeah, 3-0 to Arsenal.
3-0. And next, West Ham v Chelsea, which is the one that happens after us tomorrow. What are you thinking for that one?
I'm thinking 0-2 for that one.
Yeah, okay, good. Glad you said that. Okay, so that is the match week 32 predictions complete. There's no one else there that's affected in the drop zone. No, okay. So 33. You know, Norwich could be pivotal in all of this because they're playing a number of the teams that we are you know, fighting against. But Norwich v Brighton. What do you think, Jeff? Actually, I'm not too sure. I might have to ask for a bit of help with this.
I can see Glenn Murray from a corner failing to stop himself, throwing himself across goal and punching the ball away as it's goal bound, getting sent off, and Norwich winning 1-0 and scoring the penalty.
Wow.
That would it in real life? That sort of thing wouldn't happen, would it?
Yeah, I was thinking like 1-0. I was trying to be optimistic for Norwich, maybe, just to think, you know, to get a point against someone.
I think they might get a point or win that game, Norwich.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go for 1-0. I'm going to go for 1-0. Man United v Bournemouth. Now, I mean, I think we've got to be realistic now, and I want to think that Bournemouth can come out with a draw. But you know, let's go with our head. I think Man United are going to win 1-0, 2-0. Yeah. So I'm going to put in a 1-0. So who knows what this is doing to the table? We'll find out at the very end. Chelsea versus Watford. Watford were poor against Saints, weren't they? This is surely a Chelsea win. They're on a rich vein of form, aren't they?
Yeah, I agree with that. Chelsea to win that one.
I mean, the goals don't really matter. Well, I suppose they do. I mean, they do, depending on where we finish, which side of the dotted line we are. Then also we have Newcastle v West Ham.
Hopefully Newcastle won't be too demoralised by their defeat against us.
Well, it could cause a reaction.
True.
You know, because I don't... You know, against Man City, I don't know if you saw that game, but on the Sunday, but they had a golden chance to equalise. A golden chance. Blaze it over the bar, and then 2 minutes later, Raheem Sterling goes and makes it 2-0.
Yeah, and they are a different side when they're playing at home. One thing that I think could be a factor in all this is that teams are being encouraged not to stay overnight, so making the trip on the same day as the game. And so anyone who's got to play away at Newcastle, that is a long trip, as indeed Newcastle have to come to us, which will be a long day trip for them. So
you're going for a Newcastle win?
I think so. I think they'll edge them.
Yeah, let's go for 1-0 then. Liverpool versus Man City. I mean, how many is it going to be? 3 or 4?
3-0
I think so.
Aston Villa, not Man City. Hopefully they won't turn into Man City, Sam.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Right, okay, so elsewhere, okay, so that's that match week complete. We've done our 5 predictions, right? 34, match week 34. Watford v Norwich. What do you think?
I reckon Watford will win that 1-0.
Yeah. 1-0. Okay. Ugh, horrible result for us. Also, West Ham v Burnley. Burnley are a tough side wherever they go, aren't they? But do you think they will get a win? Surely they'll get 1 win in the remaining games. And if it's going to happen, maybe against Burnley, perhaps? Or
I
think Burnley are too rigid?
Or I think that will be a draw, 1-1. I think.
I'll take that. Brighton versus Liverpool. That's a Liverpool win, surely.
Yeah, 0-2.
Yeah, 0-2. Bournemouth v Spurs.
All depends how we've played in those 2 games, Newcastle and United. Spurs are a funny team. You know, if the game's on the line for us, I can see us putting in a shift in that one and getting something from it. However, you know, Spurs with Son, with Kane, and with Ali up front. 1-2.
Yeah, I think we'll have to go for a loss. And if we're going to get, I mean, I'm looking at these matches like Spurs and then Leicester. I think we're more likely to get a point against Leicester or a win against Leicester than we are anywhere else. And Villa versus Man United, is that going to be a Villa defeat?
Yeah, 0-1.
Yeah, 0-1. Okay, right. There we go. Match week 35, 4 weeks to go. Norwich v West Ham. Again, they're in the mix with these matches here. Do you think this is a good chance for West Ham to get some points?
Yeah, it is, but I'm thinking maybe a 0-0 again.
I think there's a chance of West Ham winning a match here or there. I don't think they're not going to win again. So I'm going to go for 1-0 West Ham, actually.
All right.
Just to test the waters. Obviously, if we end up 18th, I may change one of these results in hindsight. Who knows? Watford v Newcastle. This is an interesting one.
I think Watford should be favourites for that one. And I would say a 1-0 to Watford again.
Yeah, 1-0. Okay. Brighton versus Manchester City. Is that a given that Man City will dominate? 3-2-3. Yeah. Aston Villa at home to Crystal Palace. If Palace were as organised as they were against us, then I don't give Villa much hope, but they might score.
Yeah, 1-2.
1-2. Okay. Bournemouth v Leicester. I look at that fixture, I never fear it.
No, and I mean, if only we can play like we did the season before last.
Yeah.
We always seem to play okay against Leicester. I mean, they do suit our style of play. They're not one of these ultra defensive sides.
No.
Let's say we get a 1-0 in that one and win it.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I'm looking at that one as one of the matches where we could win. Yeah. Right. Let's go to Chelsea are going to beat Norwich. Let's go for a 3-0 there. Everton v Aston Villa. Everton are a funny side, aren't they?
They are, but I think they'll be too good for Villa. I think they'll win that 2-0.
2-0. Okay. Man City v Bournemouth. We've got to be realistic, haven't we?
I think we'll do well to keep it below 4.
Yeah, we'll go for 4-0. Saints v Brighton and Hove Albion. That's another one of the derbies that is not a derby according to Saints fans. But yeah, Saints have been very good, haven't they? And I could see, but their home form hasn't.
I reckon that'll be a draw. I think.
Yeah, we'll go for a 1-1 or 0-0. Yeah, and then this is a big one: West Ham v Watford.
So I think West Ham are going to have to win this one. So I'd go West Ham 1, Watford 0.
Oh, this could do damage. This could do damage to us. We will see. Right. Okay. Nearly there, Jeff. What with these Saints?
Oh, boy.
I've got to be realistic and say the way that both teams are playing at the moment, a draw would be a good result. A draw would be a good result.
And we did draw with them last season, didn't we? Wasn't it a draw?
Well, yeah, we drew at
home, didn't we? It was
0-0. Yeah, drab 0-0.
Let's go for a 0-0 again. I'd be happy with that.
Okay, I'm worried about how this calculator is going to go. Villa v Arsenal.
1-2.
Yeah, it depends again which Arsenal turns up. Brighton v Newcastle, another one of these fixtures that if you're a betting man and you're doing an accumulator, that's the kind of match that could easily go wrong for you.
Yeah, Brighton to win that, I think, 1-0.
Oh, God, Jeff.
Oh, no.
To me. Man U West Ham, let's go for a 2-0, shall we?
Yeah.
Norwich City against Burnley, draw or win. I don't think it matters really, but we'll let them have a point. Watford at against Man City at home. You'd have to say that they'll get beaten soundly. Final match week. Then this is where it's probably all on the line. Arsenal are at home to Watford, and you'd think Arsenal would like to finish the season strong.
Yeah,
Watford will have a point to prove.
Arsenal 4, Watford 0. I think that one.
Of course, we're sort of looking into this. Like, it all depends how match week 33 goes, 34. One team will get momentum, I'm sure. And it's one of those times, I think Adam Blackmore said on that interview with you on Solent, that it's coming to the time of the season where 2 wins in a row could really help. And any team could be getting a run together before this final match week. But let's hope it's none of our rivals. Brighton are at Burnley.
I think Burnley will win that 1-0.
Yeah, Burnley very well organised. Us at Everton.
I've got a feeling that if we need to win this game, I think we're going to win it. And it's going to be a debatable decision, but VAR comes out in our favour because it's done all for us this season.
1-2?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think we get a draw.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a place where we haven't, we haven't got some great results there, have we? But Man City will probably put 5 past Norwich, let's say. Yep. And then this again, just imagine if we're okay and it's just these two that are fighting it out. I mean, that's going to be a hell of a televised match on Sky Sports. And West Ham v Aston Villa.
I reckon, I don't think that, well, it screams draw, but I think whoever has to win that will win it. And that might well be West Ham, I think.
Okay, we'll go for 2-1, say.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now, we've done our predictions. Obviously, we haven't predicted the other teams. So the table won't quite be as right. I'm going to scroll down slowly. Here we go then, Jeff.
What have we done?
Oh, look at that. Quite convincing as well. Look at that. 37 points.
Wow. Wow.
That is our prediction. And you know what? There were a few of those I thought, we're being a bit too optimistic. So, for instance, if I was to go back and then maybe say, you know what, that match against Everton, I think, maybe a draw, we would still be all right there on 35 points. How do you feel about that? Obviously elated.
I'm over the moon.
But it's turning into one of these seasons where it could really be a low points tally that will actually get you your 17th spot. That's what it's looking like based on the fact that everyone seems to be throwing these matches. I'll be happy with that.
God, that's so freaky.
Do you think we've been? Look, Villa, 27 points. I mean, have we said that Villa won't even get any points on the board on our predictions?
I think we must have done. I mean, they have got a couple of tough fixtures coming up, and there's going to be a point where they're going to give up hope, aren't they?
And let's just have a look, just to make sure we weren't too harsh on them. Well, yeah, of course, they're going to lose to Liverpool there. I think that is undoubted. Home against Man United again, yeah, probably going to lose. That's the one where maybe Aston Villa could pull away, like a win out of the bag. Let's just say they do, for argument's sake. Losing to Everton, I think they will. I think they will lose to Everton. And what else did we go for here? Home against. They've got horrible fixtures, and then that big one at the end of the season. But even by changing up some of those results, it's still in our favour. So it would be nice if it ended like that, wouldn't it, Jeff?
Oh, I'd be supremely happy. And Do we? I mean, do we really think that's possible, Sam? That we're going to survive? I mean, it's a big ask, I think, even to win 2 of our final games. So what we're saying there is we're going to win 3 of them, and I don't know. If we don't beat Newcastle, we really are in the mire.
Yeah, and you just know that this team does perform better against teams that come out and attack. Now, Wolves, I think, have got a great sort of blend. It's almost like your Hovis, best of both. It's the, you know, they've got the attacking spark, but then they do get back and they're so well drilled when we're attacking. It's almost like they've got their banks of 4, even though they play sort of this 3-4-3, 3-5-2 formation or whatever. They've got a number of men behind the ball, and we found it tricky when they got organised in the second half to get behind them. But the first half, we got through quite a bit. And you just looking at these games like Leicester, Spurs, even Man United, Old Trafford, you know, Everton to some extent. Those, I mean, we absolutely cruised it over Everton this season, 3-1. It was, you know, one of our sort of best performances really that we've had. I've still got a lot of hope, and I've got to say it's actually slightly over 50%. But you know, obviously we'd be more than, you know, delighted with that outcome. But yeah, you're right. It has to happen against Newcastle. Teams have been tripping up over each other. It's now time for us to actually, you know, put in a shift and get a result in there.
Yeah, and Newcastle it's winnable. I'm sure the team knows that. That Eddie and the coaching staff know that. Probably that, like I said earlier, there's more belief in the team that they can actually win this game. We've just got to see that attacking zip, that intensity, that sort of quick one-touch football that gets us behind defences and then flooding the box so that it's not just one person who's, you know, jostling, hopefully, but it's not just one person who's there to be found. And I'd also love to see David Brooks, you know, really put in a man of the match performance, because he's had a couple of run-outs. We know how class he is, so this is the game for him to shine. My only fear is just the sort of lack of goal-scoring midfielders that we would have in the sort of potential lineup that, you know, we went for in the preview. You know, Dan Juma on one side and then Stanislas on the other. We know that Stanislas can score, but Lerma doesn't score enough. But Sam Billing, he's been scoring goals for fun this year.
He has scored a few, yeah. I mean, part of me just wonders whether he would chuck Dan Gosling in as a player that knows Newcastle very well. But you know, whether Dan Gosling does well in a 2 or not, I'm not too sure. It's going to be an interesting lineup. But yeah, Jeff, thank you very much for coming on this prediction calculator, mate.
Thanks, Sam. Can you replay this if it actually works out that we were right?
Yeah, I will. What I'll do is I'll get a clip of Mystic Meg and I'll morph it all together as if we, you know, we were the ones to actually make it happen. What do you think? What do you think, guys? Let us know in the comments below. Put your predictions in. There is a great website and it's called worldfootball.net where you can do your table calculator. We didn't do it involving all the other games because otherwise we'd be here forever. However, I'll pop the link in the description and you can go through. And what you can do is actually screenshot the final table if you can. Just do the last 5 or 6 places. And why not send it to us on Twitter? Our handle is @AFCB Podcast, and also on Facebook we are @AFCB Podcast. So just search for us or go facebook.com/AFCB Podcast, or on Insta as well. Screenshot your table, and then try not to be too glass half full. We were trying to be level-headed there, and we still did it. Anyway, massive match tomorrow. Up the cherries, and we'll see you in the next video. Come on, you Reds.